Now, last but not least, now that the Israelites has awakened, and now it's being taught even in Christian churches now that the blacks are in fact the true Jews, Amalek sees no use for the churches anymore. So he's saying, well, listen, let's stop their gathering altogether. Let's come up with something. Let's say it's a disease, and because of the disease, no one can gather anymore. Folks, this happened before. Now, I need you to look at your screen real quick, before I go there. Let me get him out of the way. On your screen here, it says, let me get it. 750 million genetically engineered mosquitoes approved. Hold up. Let me get this out of the way because, you know, it's acting out. Hold on. Get that out of the way. Again, 750 genetically engineered mosquitoes approved for release in Florida Keys. Now, I know people are asking, how am I tying this in with blacks, right? Listen to this. A plan to release over 750 million genetically modified mosquitoes into Florida Keys in 2021 and 2022. So if they say that, that means they've released them already, folks. Anyway, received final approval for local authorities. That means your politicians you voted in. While they were having you look in one way, they were voting in things against you. This is warfare, folks. Who would you vote in who would actually pass such a law? The same mosquitoes that years ago Bill Gates talked about at a TED Talk. The same mosquitoes he said that he released a few in the audience, that they're looking to have mosquitoes that would administer vaccines and do certain things. Who knows what these mosquitoes are doing? Mm-hmm. But your elected officials has agreed to release what? 750 million genetically modified mosquitoes approved for release in Florida. Look at this. This is CNN Health. CNN Health. Bill Gates said years ago they would do this. Now, what does this have to do with us? Number one, folks. Elder Lawyer, can you give him that encyclopedia? The Jewish Encyclopedia tells us this happened right after the death of Prince Charles, a black man. Once we realized, but don't forget, King James and them was ramping up resources and power against the Roman Empire. So after King James was dead and they killed Prince Charles, now they would ramp up a campaign to stop Jews, black Jews, Israelites from gathering in churches. Same thing today, but they had to use a disease or pestilences as an excuse to why we could no longer gather in the late 1600s. You know what they're going to do with these mosquitoes? Because people are out and about realizing that what they're saying on the news isn't so. That there's really no side effects or nothing that can claim. Outside of these tests they're giving people, no one is seeing COVID anywhere, folks. Outside of the tests that already have the results before they open them up. So people are starting to wake up to this and saying, this is being too politicized. There's more to it than what we're being told, because I'm out here amongst people and I don't see the walking dead. I don't see people falling out and dying of some disease. The only time I'm hearing about COVID is through when someone make a phone call after being in a hospital or being tested through their job. But I'm not seeing COVID real time outside of these places. So they say, you know what, since you don't see COVID, you know what we're going to do? We're going to release mosquitoes, because when you get these mosquitoes with these genetically modified mosquitoes with these diseases, what happens is your body, when it reacts to something foreign, what happens? Your temperature goes up. When it's fighting things, a fever develops. And now in your supermarkets and your stores and other places, they have these temperature checkers to see who might have COVID. Well, now through these genetically modified mosquitoes, they can now engineer fevers. And now they can use the fevers to say COVID is going up. See, side effect COVID, fever. And they're doing it in Florida Keys and other areas where our people are or where people vacation. And they're releasing them in Texas too. To stop people from gathering. When did this happen before? To let you know they know. You know who I'm talking about when I say they. Because I'm reading out of the Jewish encyclopedia. They say, let's roll out what we did to the black Jews in Europe to stop them from gathering. The Israelites are on to us now. Let's roll out a campaign to stop them from gathering, because when they gather, they'll be planning for themselves. We can no longer use them as our slaves. Stop them from gathering. Roll it out, and let's ramp up the mark of the beast system, and let's turn this thing up to 100. Stop them from coming together. God's people are talking to their God now. They're no longer listening to us. Because if they don't listen to us, they're anti-Semites. We can no longer use them and rob from them like we once did. Stop them from coming together. It's in their Jewish encyclopedia. On your screen. Oh, let me blow it up here. You know we have the goods. We got the goods. Let me put this over here. We're going to look at this one first, brothers and sisters. Right? Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
In the green, let me blow it up a little bit. Let me blow it up here. What page you want, Elder Lawyer?
456.
Page 456. Hold on. Let me blow it up some. Page 456, which says the pontificate of innocence.
The pontificate of Innocent X.
This is 1644 to 55. Read it.
Would have been more tolerable had it not been for a terrible famine, which lasted for years and made it necessary for the Jews to borrow 160,000 scudi from the Monte di Pieta.
So the Roman Catholic Church engineered a famine to where our people, the black nobility, had to borrow from them. Read.
They paid 4.5% interest. An account of the pestilence during the reign of Alexander VII has been given by the Roman author Jacob Zahalon in his Ozar HaHayim, Venice, 1683.
1683, read.
The spread of the disease through Jewish peddlers.
Through Jewish peddlers. They claim Jews got together. Our people we were peddlers. We all got together and end up spreading a disease. Read.
Was generally feared, for which reason the ghetto was closed.
The ghetto was closed. They used a disease they claimed that our people fraternize amongst each other caused a pandemic. And because of that, they began to close the ghetto. Hold up. Woo! You know we got the stuff. Look at this. In the Jewish encyclopedia, this is what they're rolling out again. They began to close. It says, the spread of disease through Jewish peddlers was generally feared, for which reason the ghetto was closed. They began to close the ghettos in the 1600s during the time we were in power, folks, using a disease as an excuse to close down our neighborhoods. Hold up now. Keep it on.
It says, nevertheless, which reason the ghetto was closed. It says, nevertheless, the first case within the ghetto occurred 3 months after the first appearance of the plague.
After the first appearance of the plague, it appeared 3 months. Remember how they started before in March and later on it started to progress? And they say they're going to have a second wave. This is in the Jewish encyclopedia. They did this to us before. Hold up now. And it says in the latter, hold on, let me get the other one, Elder Lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's telling they eventually, even though it started somewhere else, it was on us. Like, wait a minute.
Exactly. It started somewhere else, but then all of a sudden, it lands. COVID started in China, Wuhan, and it lands in the ghetto. This was their plan the whole time to shut down churches, folks. Listen, hold up. I have more. Hold on. Get rid of that. And let's go to the next page. Here's the next page. What page is this? It says the latter. Go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
This is going into page 457. In the latter part of October 1656.
1656.
And it ended there earlier than elsewhere. Within the ghettos, the pestilence claimed 800 victims.
It says it claimed 800 victims. Sound familiar? Read. And pestilences. Because it's just not a disease. They will also release pestilences like they're doing in Florida Keys and Texas with the mosquitoes, folks. They're playing from the same playbook. I'm reading this out of the Jewish Encyclopedia. The same playbook. Come on.
It says 2 cardinals visited the ghetto twice daily to see to the needs of the community and to the isolation of the sick.
Hold up. The isolation of the sick. Quarantine. Folks, this Jewish encyclopedia I have is like from the 1800s or early 1900s. What I'm reading from right here. Who else is bringing this stuff out to you, folks? Tell the truth. They're playing from the same playbook. Don't tell me they don't know about this, and I'm reading this out of the Jewish Encyclopedia. So what's going on right here, they've actually read about and have practiced and have read of these things in their synagogues. It's the same playbook. Read.
It says, within the ghetto, the pestilence claimed 800 victims. 2 cardinals visited the ghetto twice daily to see the needs of the community and to the isolation of the sick.
And the isolation of the sick. Quarantine. Read.
Lazarettos were established. They were divided into 3 departments in charge of the physicians Hananiah de Modigliano, Gabriel Larakesia, and Isaac Zahalon. The last name, or the last named, as well as other rabbis, preached every Sabbath from an open window because the prayer houses were closed.
Because the prayer houses were closed. Our rabbis, our teachers were teaching from a window because what?
Because the prayer houses were closed.
Because the churches, the prayer houses were closed. Like you had your preachers teaching from a car while others were outside, socially distancing here in America. This happened in the 1600s during the time they were trying to break us down from gathering. They understood that if they kept black nobility in place in England, we would eventually fight for our people in America. They systematically took us down by stopping our prayer, stopping us from getting together separately from the Roman Catholics. What? What? That's why the Bible says Christ will return after that man of sin be revealed. We've broke down Israelites physically and genetically from the time of the beginning all the way up until the time we're here right now. Start from our fall in Rome, where they whitewashed the images, showing you the original. In the original Bible, it pointed out black people from Judah being black. We use the Bible dictionary resources all the way to the time in which they would begin political tricks, like letting pestilences loose on us, diseases, so that they can quarantine us to stop us from gathering. Because when 2 or more gathered, our God is in the midst. We're listening to our God from on high, and no longer are we under the foot and the lies of the synagogue of Satan. So because of this, they're coming out of this same playbook to isolate us, to actually say the ghettos are where the diseases are, so that the other people can say, well, okay, let us free then, and just put the clamps on Judah, put the clamps on Israel. Let us continue our life. And be like, yeah, we'll let you continue your life if you're willing to align yourself against black people. And that's where the Gentiles come in at. You Gentiles, if you align yourself with the beast against us, our God will totally decimate you. The curses are coming off of us and on to your children. We telling you straight out. If you listen to what they say and go against black people, our God will curse you like Pharaoh. The land of Egypt will be plagued. We're not going back under servitude. Christ is freeing us. And you Gentiles, you should get baptized, find the light, and begin to bless the blessed people. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm putting it out there right now. We don't have anything physically to fight against what's going on. The only protection we have is from heaven. And if you begin to war against these people in the ghetto, you're going to find you're warring against the children of light, the children of God. And our God, because we can't, will take up our battle. He will fight against you. And if you try to come against us in this time in which we're not looking to go against other people. We're just trying to come together under our God now and prepare in preparation for the kingdom to come. This is what they're trying to stop now that they no longer have influence over us. And if you get in the way and try to follow them as Gentiles and say, well, listen, you're not going to cramp my style and begin to go against us because Amalek is telling you to, you're going down with him. You Gentiles, I'm going to tell you right now, read Paul's writings again and fall on code. If you boast against the natural branches and come against us, our God will fight you and your children from the throne. It won't just be you. Our God is coming after not just you, your children. Okay? Ask Pharaoh. Ask Pharaoh. It was through Pharaoh's own word, looking to kill the firstborn of Israel, that Moses had to tell him, listen, the curse came from you. When you began to talk about what you're going to do to these people who aren't doing anything against you, who are just trying to survive, the Most High will send a plague. And what have come out of your mouth will now curse your child. No, Pharaoh, he's not going to do anything to you. You will see what happens to your children. You Gentiles, I know you thought we were just Negroes, black, slaves. I know you thought we were just second-class citizens. But in the back of your mind, I think you always knew that something was special about us. And I'm telling you what it is. We're genetically, physically, and spiritually the children of God. And our God won us back. He won us back. So I'm not teaching this to say something against white people or Chinese people against other people. All that we're saying is leave us alone so that we can serve our God. Leave us alone. And don't align yourself against us. You're going to find that you're fighting against the throne of God. We're suffering. Our people are suffering. We're sick. We're hurting. We're destitute. We've always had nothing. And now Christ is shining his light on us. And he's saying, listen, come back. You have to give us that opportunity without playing interference and being used by the synagogue of Satan to actually continue that war against us. Amalek's war. If you see one of our people, find how to help our people without grandizing yourselves. Without politically grandizing or financing yourselves off of our poverty like Democrats. Okay? We're the children of Israel and we're back. And if you don't know who the Israelites are after this, Who cares? Okay. Wallow in the world of ignorance. But Christ says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. We'll be here, same station, same channel, this coming Wednesday, and next Sabbath we'll be back on our original channel. Okay? What we'll do, we'll delete the other stuff that came before this to make sure there's no issues. And make sure you not only subscribe to this channel, go to A Gathering 144 if you haven't subscribed already, and subscribe to the channel, because if you think this is something, we're coming with more. Man, let me tell you, we even got the history, have the history of when Ishmael conspired with Esau, and it's the same family Muhammad came out of. All of that is going to be coming out in the academy, but a lot of it we're going to be dropping here what we can, without slighting those who've actually made an attempt to actually, come through and learn in good earnest, in good faith. Okay? We're the children of Israel, and we're back. And we're not doing this to show any vitriol or hatred towards, guess what? We don't hate white people. We don't hate Chinese people. We don't hate Koreans. We love people. Okay? We don't have no problem with any race of people. But guess what? But if you are a race outside of Israel, you better choose right. Because what you're looking at are those who are next in line for power. You better choose right. When they try to align you against our people in the ghetto to make you believe that we're the plague, stand for God's people. Support Israel. Support Israel.
I hear Jacob crying. Why here I can hear him crying. When you gonna rise?
Who's
Call
up
the
35?
Lord.
Who's up what? Over 2,000?
Mighty Jacob rise. Let's hear your roar. When you gonna rise, Jacob? When you come back? When you cry?
Don't stop it yet. Type in History Times now. Academy.
See, I can see him rising. Jacob, dry your eyes and call on the Lord. Mighty Jacob rise to be restored. Troubles are brewing, Jacob. Jacob, let us hear it. Oh no, let's hear that roar. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Ooh. Jacob, come and call on the Lord.